would like to meet Rich Eisen, you can go to Oakland Stadium right now. Rich is right outside. And are you all alone, Rich?
Dan, let me paint the word picture for you.
Okay.
I am currently standing in between Oco Coliseum.
Yeah.
And Oracle, what is it, the Oracle Arena?
Yeah.
Where the Golden State Warriors play. I mean, seriously, a 20-foot distance between the two buildings, and obviously that doesn't give testament to the differences between the two franchises that play in those two buildings and how well they are performing in their respective leagues. But, yeah, it's a gloomy day. It's an 0-10 type day, to be very honest with you, here in Oakland. And I don't know if are you mentioning your marquee games before bringing me on to try and get me to be jealous a little bit, Dan? I mean, is that what was that all about right there?
Do you want me to lead with yours and then follow up with ours?
No, I mean, we're the more recent game. You're bringing up Thanksgiving night. You know, I mean, that's a week from today.
NBC paid for advertising time here.
Oh, is that? Oh, so you were just doing some business there.
Yes, Seton. What's it say at 10:35 on my rundown sheet with sponsors?
Sunday night football. Sunday night is football night.
Yeah, there you go. If the NFL Network would like to sponsor a segment here,
I'll speak to them about it. I'll pick that one up the chain of command here tonight.
Okay, how tough is it, or is there an obligation to say nice things about the Raiders? Find nice things to say.
No, man. We're going to report as we see here. I mean, on the 3-hour show I'm going to do right after yours from Inside Oco, I've got Rod Woodson sitting next to me, and he for the whole 3 hours he's going to be unvarnished about it. And listen, this is a brutal situation here in Oakland. They're 0-16 over their last 16 games, and you have to wonder if they're going to be 0-16 within the season, because the way they're performing is just mind-numbing. I know they've got Derek Carr, the young kid who has a lot of talent, but you got to support him with something. And their running game, they have 63 yards rushing per game. That's their average. It's the worst since the 1948 Lions. So that said, though, it is a short week, and they've got the Chiefs coming in, and this is one of those games where you might throw the records out. And as a matter of fact, speaking on behalf of NFL Network, I ask people to actually do that if you can. And so, you never do know what's going to happen. But they definitely have their hands full. The Chiefs are one of the hottest teams in the league, and they do have a clear path to the 1 seed. They are the one team that the Patriots do not want to see tied with them. They've got the tiebreak against Denver. They've got the tiebreak against the Colts. They do not have the tiebreak against Kansas City, which is a team that beat them so badly they moved on to Cincinnati. So Kansas City winning tonight, they have sole possession of first place in the AFC West. They do have the Broncos next week. That would be a huge setup for them. And then they continue to win, and maybe they even catch the Patriots.
I think we have Kansas City and Denver the following Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Oh, my gosh, Dan. I mean, how many yachts can you water ski behind, Dan Patrick? Come on.
Can one?
We do have the Cowboys at the Bears the week after Thanksgiving, which we're excited about, despite the Bears' record as it may be when they go in. Because it's a very rare instance for us to have a Thursday night game. It only happened once before, where both teams had a full week's rest coming into the game, and that was when Favre and Romo went against each other in Dallas the week after Thanksgiving, when both were 9-1, and Favre got knocked out of the game, and his backup Aaron Rodgers came in and looked awesome. And that was a fun game, and so we got that one for us.
Well, that's nice. Can a coach really change the culture there in Oakland? The next coach?
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people here that hope that coach is John Gruden and or Jim Harbaugh. And I'll be talking about that on my 3-hour show coming up after yours. Is it possible that happens?
Why would Gruden take that job?
Great question. I think a lot of people here are hanging their hats on his affinity for the area and for the franchise. I think that's what they're hanging their hats on.
Yeah.
But that's a great question. Why would he do that? I mean, he's got a great gig right now. He will have the pick of whichever team he wants to, if he ever wants to come out of there. This one would not be the one, unless he loves Carr. He thinks that whatever they get for the number 1 overall pick will be worth building a franchise around. Perhaps that's something he'd like to do.
Maybe he could follow his brother in Washington, because Mike Florio said Jay Gruden could be one and done there.
Well, I mean, what's happening there is just remarkable. I've never, in my 11 years of doing the NFL only thing, seen a coach take to the podium and give such a kimono opening analysis straight from the meeting room to the podium. I've never seen that before.
And it was week 11, Rich. That's what shocked me. You'd say that maybe preseason or something. These are things we're going to work on with RG3. That was as if he was in a film session critiquing RG3.
It sounded like his brother on the bus prior to a Monday night game breaking down the tape. And I've never, ever heard that before. And some of the guys, that are going to be on the air tonight with me, Marshall Falk, Mooch, they've never heard it either. Never. And Marshall, as he said in the meeting last night, and he'll be saying on the pregame show tonight, that this is the sort of stuff that coaches don't even say in offensive meetings in front of teammates for fear of calling out the quarterback in front of teammates. That's like quarterback room type stuff. And he went out there and did that.
Yep.
Now, the question is will that somehow rally the team around RG3 and against the coach? Is that his ploy, or was he just so upset with what's going on either behind the scenes or with his quarterback at his podium on Sunday that he just went up there and let loose? Problem for them is they're 3-7 with trips to San Francisco and Indianapolis. And could you imagine that is the backdrop? 3-8. RG3 maybe getting benched for Colt McCoy, or should he get benched for Colt McCoy? That's the backdrop of his game against Andrew Luck. The 1 versus 2 guys are going to be attached to the hip forevermore from that draft. I mean, it's brutal what has happened in Washington right now.
He's Rich Eisen from the NFL Network. Tonight, it'll be the Raiders hosting the Kansas City Chiefs on the NFL Network. The Buffalo situation, we talked to Florio at the top of the hour, and he said, you might have to move it to Monday or Tuesday. I mean, you have to factor in safety here. If you play the game at the Jets, or you're going to play it in Toronto, but they got more snow on the way here, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, right now it doesn't look like the Bills are practicing today again. Anthony Dixon, or Booby, if you're scoring at home, tweeted out moments ago that he's stuck in his house. He's stuck in his house. There's a driving ban in town.
Yeah,
they're ticketing people. Just getting in a car is a moving violation right now in parts of Buffalo. And that is some serious business, clearly, just on a safety level. Forget about playing a game, just getting people to a game and keeping it safe in that stadium. I would be shocked if that game gets played on Sunday. But then again, I'm standing in Northern California right now. I don't have anything close to boots on the ground there. But it would make sense to keep pushing the game back, clearly. And this is a big game, obviously, for the Bills, who we last saw a week ago tonight in Miami, not score a single offensive touchdown, fall to 5-5. They need this game, and the Jets need it too. Obviously, if Rex is fighting for his job, as everyone supposes, that's just the football aspect of it. But I can't imagine that they're going to get around to the football aspect of it for at least the next 24 to 48 hours. When we're talking about 7 feet of snow.
The kickoff portion of NFL Network's coverage starts at 6 Eastern tonight.
Is it?
That's the pre-kick?
That's a pre-game. Yeah, and then there's a pre-kick. And then there's there's my show, Dad.
I know. I know. I was going to start with the NFL Network, and then I was going to work back. Rich,
okay.
Rich, I don't tell you how to do your job.
Sorry, man.
Tonight on the NFL Network, 6 Eastern.
Yeah. Let's check. Yep, that's that one.
It'll be the Raiders. Can you do that tonight? Can you do the Raiders?
The Raiders.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So it's the Raiders against the Chiefs coming up on NFL Network. Coming up at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, the Rich Eisen Show on the Audience Channel 239.
Got Rod Woodson, Warren Moon phoning in, Jay Glazer phoning in. I did an interview last week with Carl Reiner at his house, and a legend, to say the least. And portions of that interview will be played during the show. Ray Ratto, Greg Papa. We got some people coming to the set. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
All in 3 hours.
we'll be watching at
Thank you,
noon
DP.
Eastern, 9 Pacific, The Rich Eisen Show, and tonight on the NFL Network.
The Raiders.
Thank you, Rich.
All right, DP.
Rich Eisen, you win.